Bob Olson. Our company is responsible for developing the 2 new hotels.
Hi, Bob.
So I'll tell you a little bit first about who we are. Some of the hotels that we've developed in Orange County include Pasea in Huntington Beach, let's see, Lido House Hotel in Newport Beach, then the Marriott at Irvine Spectrum that has Hyatt and Honey on the rooftop, 16-story building. So we very excited about what we can create here, what we've designed. I will tell you, that old building, if you walk through it, it was built 50 years ago and it's very tired. We've spent quite a bit of money on that building just to get it to a rentable place, clean, orderly, as best we can, but our eye really is on the future of the new hotels. And so these 2 hotels, so the one on the right, if you've been to Lido House, think Lido House here, only better yet, on the waterfront. And so all the rooms have bayfront views. We have a beautiful pool. We have a rooftop lounge and restaurant together up on the 3rd floor. We have access off of the boardwalk. By the way, Brian talked about what we're doing in the boardwalk. Boardwalk goes from anywhere from 8 to 12 feet wide. The new boardwalk will be 20 feet wide. Beautiful, great, with a mix of concrete and wood. Beautiful design. And so I know that when I'm down here, especially during the holidays, you can hardly get by. So we'll definitely be able to accommodate more of the foot traffic. It's 130 rooms. We have fitness center, some small meeting space, very much a residential design and feel. Lido House actually was designed after my home on Babel Island, so it's going to be a little bit of that, only what I would consider a more updated version. So on the other side is the Surf Lodge, and that's our, what we call, it's an affordable hotel. We're working with Coastal on that, what that means. 136 rooms. It also has its own rooftop lounge, but more of a kind of a select service hotel, if you will. We'll have a bar, not a full restaurant, we'll have small bites and things, but a lot of restaurants and opportunities for our hotel guests to come into the retail commercial core. Some of the views that you'll see the same. This is from actually out at the entryway as you come in, the lighthouse, the old lighthouse design, the main entry off to the right. Some aerial views as you can see. This is the Surf Lodge. The name for the point, behind the point, aka Dana Point, for a rooftop lounge. And on underneath the Dana House is mostly boater parking. So you don't see that. So we've lifted up that entire platform. That pool you see is actually sitting on a podium. And so it's all boater parking, not all of it, a substantial portion of the parking underneath is boater parking. See? That's it. So we have been working with Coastal Commission. We got our approvals with the city first. That was done and completed in, I think, right around June of 2020, about a year and a half after we took over the harbor. And then the city is taking that, it's the city's application to Coastal Commission of what the development is. And so they the city made the application in July of 2020, and we have been working with them since. Honestly, a little frustrating. Lido House took us a year, Pasea took us a year, and so things are just not moving. We've been through COVID, so COVID did not make things go faster at Coastal Commission. All the hearings now are done via Zoom. We're hopeful to get back to in-person meetings so we can actually have dialogue. But We're hotel developers, builders, owners. We love this site. I think it's going to be great for the community. Much like our other hotels, we are definitely a part of our community, much so, more so than the Marina Inn. You know, we take pride in what that is, but this is what our eye is on, really, for the future. So,
can you talk about the surf lodge and what the Coastal Commission requirements are with regard to that?
So the Coastal Commission wants it to be an affordable rate, okay? That has not happened yet in the state, okay? A fully affordable hotel. They've been agreed to, but they've never been built. And so we are using the average daily rate from the Marina Inn. Coastal Commission considered that to be an affordable hotel.
What's the average daily rate? Like
We're-
$150?
No, it's like $180.
Okay.
Okay, that's what the Marina Inn is. And so that's what Coastal is, that's what we're saying. Coastal's wanting to use statewide, and so there's a tug of war there, no doubt. But when you look at Crystal Cove rates are even higher than ours. What we're proposing, $550. So, but there's that, and then there's a lot of social justice things that they're asking for that we're trying to get our arms around. One, they had asked if we would bring kids in from underprivileged areas to give swimming lessons in the swimming pools at the hotels. We felt like that was not a good mix for our customers. And so we're trying to find other ways of other opportunities that we have. One of the ideas is maybe, and we haven't taken this to the top yet, but maybe to provide a walkway out on the break wall, on the top of the break wall, to provide access out there as some other forms of trying to satisfy the requirements.
Okay, you mentioned that the boater parking, do you mean boaters who can park there and unload if there's sites are near those hotels? Can you clarify what you meant by that?
So, yes. Well, boater parking, you can unload in there. We have the front row here of the seawall, and then underneath the.
Emma, can you point to where he's referring to? There we go. Okay.
Yeah. And then, well, no, and then go to the left, and right there, the front row right there is boater parking. And then inside underneath. I can show you a plan of the parking and
So that should be an unloading zone, there's no parking.
So we have also, we're creating 2 unloading zones on the bridgeway here. Amber, can you show this is new, those are unloading right there on both sides.
Okay, hold on. If you have a question, write it on the card so we
But,
can get clear.
and so if,
So you can hear people don't believe you that this is. I'm just trying
So
to be
these are all-
correct here.
they're all
People don't
public.
believe that you can actually unload in that area. So
Well,
I'll
it depends
ask
on what you're
Matt.
trying to
I'll
unload.
ask
There's
Matt.
100 boaters have to
Hold
unload
on,
at
hold
a
on.
time.
Excuse me, hold on. Matt, if this is expected to be a boat unloading area, are there certain requirements that the county and the Coastal Commission will have to ensure that it is safe for boat unloading?
Yes, that's being permitted by the Coastal Commission. That's something that they would look at.
Okay.
Is whether that is viable. It's the access to the harbor, especially for small boat users, is very important to the Coastal Commission, and that's something they verify.
Okay.
so there's no, we're not unloading boats themselves. Okay, this is not a boat unloading. It's boater things that people take on their boats.
So that's what I was trying to get you to clarify. So, okay. And then also, there was a question about traffic. How will the hotels impact traffic in the area, and have you planned for that?
So we have done traffic studies as part of our environmental impact report. And the traffic impacts are insignificant. Hotels, by their very nature.
So just to clarify for the general public, when he says it's insignificant, it's not the same thing that you and I necessarily believe that that's insignificant. It's a legal term. And Matt, can you just explain what that means?
Yeah, when you, the term insignificant, when you're talking about that in the coastal terms or in CEQA, it means that it's not significant.
CEQA is what?
The California Environmental Quality Act, sorry. It is not, that means it wouldn't cause a significant effect on the traffic itself. Not that it wouldn't have some effects, but that it's not gonna stop traffic. There's usually a traffic model that is applied to that, that has to do with, you know, how far cars away from each other and how long it takes to stop.
Okay, and then the county real estate, even though they're going through the coastal commission, you're overseeing that project as well?
Yes, we review all of the documents. We have a staff that attends the meetings with them, so we are involved in the staff.
Okay, and then one more question. So the hotels, you know I've been to Lido House, it's beautiful. You took what was an old ratty, old civic hall, and turned it into a beautiful revenue generating hotel that people go to all the time. So while this is amazing, is there any option to take some of the revenue that we generate here, maybe at some point in time, depending on the revenue, and use that to help us reduce the cost for, you know, lockers and all these other ancillary costs that are now being added on to the slip fees?
I'm not sure I'm following the question.
Can we take the revenue in a portion of some of the revenue from the hotel to help reduce the cost for the boaters? Because now, you know, what we're seeing is not only is there an increase in the slip fees that understandably they haven't had an increase over a long period of time, but I will say, and you know I'm going to say this, that if I was here and I was the one making this decision as the county supervisor, I would have had a stepped up process. I would not have a slam of tripling this. Unfair advantage. How do we take the revenue that's being generated here and talk about, and you don't have to answer right now, but you should know that that's something I want us to consider.
I can say that if the hotels are expected to pay you more than what, right now, they are not great investments standalone on their own. We've brought our economic models we have shown our numbers, the things that are being laid on us, the affordable hotel. So that's why we had to come back to the county and ask if we cannot make these hotels work financially, we will remodel the old hotel. And that's our only way out. And so that was I mean, the county could take the ground lease payments that we give, and the county can do what, you know, if you want to use those funds to help subsidize the voters. I think that's
well, we're not trying to subsidize the voters, but I do think it's a public park. Okay, so it's a beautiful hotel, it's beautiful plans. I love the surf lodge concept, and we're going to try to help because I know you reached out because there's some stalling at the Coastal Commission. Yes. So my office is going to work as hard as we can to help push that through so there is no extension of time because we want this project to keep moving forward. Is there anything that anyone else here can do to help with that?
You know, the Coastal Commission, that's a very good question, and I wish we could.
Okay, we can talk about it, and you can let me know, and then I'll share it. Okay, all right. Joe?